Hi friends, I am Dr. Pratap Singh Rathod. I have done MD in forensic medicine and today we'll discuss about identification, which is a short introduction to identification. Identification by definition is determination of individuality of a person based on certain physical characteristics in a person. It can be complete or absolute in which there is absolute fixation of the individuality of a person, or it can be partial or incomplete in which there is ascertainment of only some facts about the identity. So certain some facts includes like race or age or sex or stature, while the others remain unknown. So in partial, there is only certain facts can be confirmed, where others facts are not confirmed. Necessity of identification in living in criminal cases mainly it is required in cases of person accused of assault or murder or rape. In case of interchange of newborn babies, it is where it becomes essential to identify the babies. Impersonation, where the person tried to impersonate other person by changing his facial features or other features. Absconding soldiers, where they and criminals, where they try to escape the crime by changing the identity, in which cases identification becomes necessary. In civil cases, in case of marriage, where two persons are marrying, it is required identification is essential to know whether the person is claiming to be the same person or not. In case of passport or license in government documents, inheritance claims, if the person wants to donate his property when he writes a will and he wants to give to his relatives, the long lost relatives, the relatives has to be identified before giving the inheritance. Insurance claims, missing persons, any missing person, when confirmed, to confirm that person is the same person in the photograph, it has to be identified again. Disputed sex in cases of certain diseases where sex cannot be determined just by external features, but it requires genetical examination. Necessity of identification in death in case of fire or explosions or accidents where because of the injuries the facial features are lost and person must be identified based on other features. When unknown dead body is found on the road or fields or railway compartment or water in like rivers or seas, the facial features may be lost, or in cases sometimes when the person tries to kill other person, he may deface the face or to make the person to not be identified. In that cases, identification is required. In case of decomposed bodies, where in advanced decomposition, facial features is lost and person body is bloated up and all the features are lost, in that again identification is required. In case of mutilated bodies, where certain parts of the body may be removed, the head may be removed, that is decapitated, or uh, limbs may be removed. So in that case, only limb may be obtained. In that cases, using only one limb, the person has to be identified. In case of skeletal remains, where long lost person may be killed and he may be put in the fields and only the skeleton is obtained, in that case also identification is required. In medical cases, in all of the medical cases, two identification marks is essential. This is required because in court, accused is punished only after verifying identification marks. So only after verifying marks only the person can be punished. Supplying certain marks of identification policy is required in all medical legal cases. So in all medical cases, identification marks is essential, and only after identifying the medical identification marks, then only the court will convict the person to be accused of his crime. Now coming to corpus delicti. Corpus delicti, also known as body of offense, refers to principle that it must be proven that crime has actually occurred. So this part is very essential. It must be proved that crime actually occurred before a person can be convicted of committing the crime. Like in case of a homicide or any other cases, it has to be proved that the crime has been committed, that there is a body of offense is present, then only the person can be convicted of crime. It includes positive identification of the dead body first. So victim has to be identified first. Then on the body of the victim, proof of death should be identified by criminal act like infliction of violence, injuries in a particular way on a certain time, certain place, or certain person, etc. So Body corpus delicti includes body, identifying the dead body or dead person victim, identifying the victim or a dead body, then identifying the part which tells that certain criminal act has been done. So there may be some injuries, like there is a stab wound, there is a knife present, or there is a gunshot wound. So that tells that some offense was committed on that body. So after that corpus delicti is done, then only the convicted person can convicted for that crime. Corpus delicti in murder cases in fact suggests that the person died from unlawful violence. So it includes body of victim, other facts conclusive of death by foul play. So it should include body of victim and certain facts which tells that there was death by foul play. Proof of corpus delicti is very essential before a sentence of punishment is passed in a court of law. So without the proof of corpus delicti, the sentence cannot be passed in court of law. Now coming to identific features by which the person can be identified. In living and death, so in both the living and dead, features can be identified based on the race, religion, sex, then there is age, then teeth, then general development or stature, then anthropometric measurements, fingerprints, lip prints, footprints, external peculiarities like scars or tattoo marks, hairs, personal effects, belongings like clothes, pocket contents like identification documents. These are the features in living and death which can be used for identification. In specific to in living, handwriting. So if the person is living and he has to be identified, then we can use his handwriting. So each person's handwriting is unique. It can be copied, but even then, handwriting is unique to each person. Speech and voice. Certain persons speak in a specific way. They have their accent. Sometimes they also talk in a certain way, repeat certain words, but is unique to that person. That can be used for identifying. Gait, manner, and habits of the person can also be used to identify the person living. Gait, the person walk, way of walk, or way he behaves with others, and habits of him can be used. Memory of the person. If the person is well educated, then we can ask the questions and we can detect whether the person is same person or not. These are my references. Thank you.